You get a trial license for an AI code review tool. You hand it to a developer, tell them to poke around for a few weeks, and then everyone reconvenes to decide. Most of the time, that meeting produces nothing. One person's opinion, no comparison point, no clear answer on whether the tool actually caught anything the team would have missed otherwise. A trial like that produces nothing usable because nobody set up the conditions to find out. Nobody owned the answer and nobody had agreed in advance on criteria on what a real evaluation would even look like. The team ran an experiment with no way to read the result. It helps to separate two different things that get lumped together here. There's the free trial, something that an individual developer runs to get a gut check on a tool in a few minutes, low stakes, no real evaluation required. And then there's the enterprise POC, a structured process an organization runs before putting a tool permanently into a pipeline that every engineer touches every day. Those need completely different levels of rigor, and treating the second like the first is exactly how you end up in that room with nothing to show for it. So in this video, we're going to get into what the second one actually looks like in 5 stages. Stage 1, fit assessment. The first stage happens entirely before the tool even touches a line of code. You write down in one sentence what the problem you're actually trying to solve. Then you map your stack so you know what you need the tool to support, and you turn that problem into a measurable criteria before kickoff, not after. Say for example, your PRs sit waiting for review for 2 days on average. That can become a number. For example, get review turnaround under 30 minutes. Say your team is starting to lean on AI agents and the PR coming back are enormous, hundreds of lines, hard to review by eye. That can become a different number. How many real issues does the tool actually catch in those PRs, for example, per week? And what fraction of the suggestions actually get implemented? Write this down before anyone opens the product. That's what makes stage 5 possible later. Stage number 2, readiness gate. This is a stage that many teams skip, but it's an important step. I'm talking about security review. The main recommendation here is to kick it off on day 1, running it in parallel with everything else, not after you've decided that you even like a tool. Because if it starts late, it becomes the reason your 3-week POC turns into a 7-week one, and you don't want that. You also need a repo. Ideally, it's something active and real, and probably not your release branch, so the tool sees the current work without the risk of touching a live release. And another very important thing that many teams forget, a named internal owner. So one person whose job is to drive the evaluation and to be able to answer at the end what happened. Everything else in this process can flex to fit your organization. The named owner is the one exception that doesn't. Stages 3 and 4, soft launch and tuning. With all of that in place, the hands-on part is straightforward. Week 1 is a soft launch. Get the integration running fast, and instead of just watching for a week and declaring this is noisy, collect every false positive and categorize it. And that part is actually important. Categorized noise is something you can fix later, but a vague complaint is something you'll forget by the decision meeting. Once you gather all the information from first week, weeks 2 and 3 are for tuning. And if there's 1 hour in this entire process worth protecting in your calendar, it's the rules workshop. What that is that you're going to sit down with the vendor and work through your specific organization to cut the noise that's particular to your codebase. This is an opportunity to make the tool truly yours. You're going to feel that you're getting close to a decision when the questions in the room change. Early on, people ask whether the tool even works, and by week 3, if the process is going well, they're going to be asking whether it fits how they actually work. And that shift in the question is what tells you're really close. Stage 5, decision. Now you go back to the criteria you wrote in stage 1 and score the tool against them. Nothing new gets invented here, that's the point. The highest weight criterion in that scoring is usually the difference against whatever you already ran. since almost every engineering organization already has some AI assistant in the loop. What actually matters is whether the tool finds what's already being missed, not just whether it finds issues at all. One more thing that belongs in this scoring: cost at scale. Get it into stage 1 criteria instead of discovering it once you're in the room deciding. What it costs for one team's soft launch and what it costs once it's running against every PR in the organization are two different numbers. Get the second one ahead of time. So let's step back from the mechanics for a second. What these 5 stages really do is give you a small contained way to earn the right to trust a tool before it gets to a permanent seat in your process that you depend on every day. And that's the main point of the exercise. The stages just make that trust earned instead of assumed. So if you're in the middle of a real evaluation and not a gut check, the fastest way to get moving is a conversation. Go ahead and book a demo with Qodo, and we'll help you get the fit assessment and criteria right before anything touches your codebase.